Hi, what's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to another video. This is another trade recap video, and I'm just kind of going into the trade that I took, or the narrative that I was aiming for, and what prevented me from actually executing on this. And that's specifically diving into this daily candle. Now, this week should have been a pretty good week, considering the news events that we had. Other than the bank holiday on Monday, Tuesday had no news, and then we had some good news Thursday, Friday. Right now it's Wednesday, so we had like a really late afternoon news. But I was still expecting that Wednesday's range was going to be a little more efficient, especially since we're approaching the end of the month. And so the monthly candle is going to be in a rush to close wherever it wants to close, right? And so it had me thinking, hey, we're probably going to see some expansion towards buy side. But in order to do that, especially because we got the last two like bearish candles, I was expecting this third one to at least tap into this lower one right here. So I was aiming for sells, and I even sent out like a little sell signal kind of to my group saying, this is what we're anticipating. First of all, I marked out the IFVG to the left and then this bearish one. And when it first tapped in, it was Asia session somewhere around here. And I was like, we're going to be looking for sell side. And it did start running down here. But then we got a random move of buy side that I just didn't understand. And I wasn't looking at the chart actively during this time. I'm in a rush, by the way. This is why I'm trying to get this video out quick and talking fast. We closed up above, and usually that's a sign of disrespecting like a bearish fair value gap so that it goes higher. And let me tell you why it didn't go any higher than this and instead melted back down. First of all, because it's likely going to draw down here. Now I'm very confident, almost like 100% confident that we're going to hit this target first before expanding any higher. I'm 100% confident in that, whether that be in the last hour before this candle closes or in the next day when we open, we're definitely going to run down into this thing. I'm 100% confident in that. And that's what I'm going to be aiming for. Now, this is not financial advice, and I'm not going to tell you to fool for it. I'm obviously going to adapt and still look for my model. If I don't get the model, I'm not going to trade it. But let me tell you what actually happened. So take a look at this wick right here, the previous one on this candle. So here we have the bottom of that wick. And what happened here is on the 4-hour time frame, when it came up, this was the daily time frame rebalancing the previous day wick. So there would have been a new fair value gap there, but it rebalanced it right there. It prevented a new fair value gap from forming. And usually this happens when it wants to expand lower, and it's the same thing that I covered earlier in the week for what the monthly candle was doing. And that's a buy that we took that made a ton of money for us from the like low before the weekly bullish fair value gap. So that's what I was looking for. Like I saw this happen, and I just wasn't ready for that because I wasn't actively watching my charts, and I didn't see that it did do that immediate rebalance. Otherwise, I probably would have started selling from here. Knowing that we have this target right here, and it wouldn't have made much sense if it just started running up here without tapping into anything. But yeah, so I'm going to be aiming for this low. I'm going to be aiming for it to tap into this fair value gap. There's only an hour left, and I'm honestly a little bummed out of how inefficient price has been. Like, it's not really running in the direction like very fast. It's taking a long time. There's a lot of correction moves that just don't seem to make sense, like this closing above the IFVG, like creating an IFVG, closing above the bearish FVG and then melting down anyways. It's kind of like just preventing people from getting into the market. But actually this was the news event. This was the FOMC, I believe. Yeah, that was FOMC. So never mind. That actually makes sense as well. Kind of just moving in the opposite direction, manipulating some sellers, and then moving in the true direction again. So yeah, I'm going to be looking for that. Hopefully it does actually run down here so that when the next day opens, we can just catch an expansion of the last, basically the last 2 days of the month. We obviously want to see that like expand, that monthly candle, the seasonal tendency to expand towards buy side. We want to see that happen. So it would be in a rush to do that, especially with this daily candle. If it closes nicely inside of this IFVG, then we're definitely going to be able to get that buy side from here. Hopefully up to rebalance this wick and then maybe close above this IFVG in general before moving higher to like a target like this. That's what I'm aiming for. That's my drawn liquidity. And then this was what I learned, like, hey, I was wrong about this trade. I didn't see it happen until like, hey, I looked after and I realized that's what actually happened. This is why it closed above the 4-hour bearish fair value gap and then still went down anyways. Yeah, all your objective should be when you're trading is to make sure that you can take a look at price action after and understand what actually happened. I'll catch you guys in the next week. Peace out.